Hello. Coming up on this edition of Cogeco News, a small demonstration in front of the North Bay Regional Health Center on this day. The DIA says no to a pedestrian area in the downtown core. And yes, it's Pet of the Week time. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Cogeco News. I'm Greg Esterbrooks. It is called Bill 195, and two major unions in Ontario say it violates basic healthcare worker rights. This after coronavirus cases in this country continue to drop and in this province. Clark Heipel has more on a demonstration Thursday.
So COVID-19 hit the world very hard. It hit Canada really hard, and it hit Ontario pretty hard.
That is Ochu and CUPE Representative Sharon Richer outside the North Bay Regional Health Center on Thursday late morning. This after a province-wide emergency call among membership on late Monday night, which called for political action against Bill 195.
When COVID, kind of took over Ontario, we all recognized, all healthcare workers across the province, certainly the ones we represent as well as, others in different unions, knew that, we had to do things, we had to put things into place to keep patients safe. So we fully understood and respected that. But now as, the cases are definitely on a decline and more of the province is opening up, our healthcare workers are saying, we don't need this.
This being the government-introduced legislation Bill 195 put in by the Doug Ford Conservative government. That bill, the union says, removes many citizen rights, such as the right to assemble and protest, and that it will also remove many important healthcare workers' workplace rights.
Their number one job is to take care of patients, and all of them love that job or they wouldn't be working here. So they don't need this bill. Certainly if cases started spiking, we understand that you're going to have to put the emergency order in, reach out to the unions, contact us, we would talk to the members, and everybody would be fine with it. It's the not understanding why, when the cases are declining, they're heroes within the communities, within the province, that they have to put up with this and, see their basic workplace rights being taken away from them for up to 2 years.
Michael Hurley is the president of Ochu. He was vocalizing his displeasure with the current healthcare situation on behalf of unionized healthcare workers.
Their lives have been completely discombobulated for a long period of time. The government calls them heroes, and that is so gratefully appreciated. People do appreciate that very much. But then they're struck by the contradiction that, the reward for coming through like this, without adequate protection, still coming to work, still working hard for people, still delivering. The reward for that can't be that we have our basic rights suspended on a semi-permanent basis. Like, what kind of a thank you is that? So they're kind of stunned by it, to be honest.
Conservative Nipissing MPP Vic Fedeli will be on our news station on Friday. Stay tuned to Cogeco News tomorrow for his response to these union demands. Reporting for Cogeco News, I'm Clark Heipel.
It may be a small crack in the return to normalcy, but the first floor of City Hall is open again to the public. It will give those in need in-person visits for the chance to talk face-to-face with city staff about various issues of import.
So the rules are we're providing some services but not all services right now. One of our big concerns is to ensure that the safety of the area citizens and the safety of staff is the first priority. So when people come into the building, we're asking them to physical distance, so the 2 meters apart. We're also asking them to wear a mask. If they don't have a mask, we'll provide one, but we do encourage people to do so.
Why do you think it's important to have a physical situation here in regards to, instead of just doing it online or by the phone? I think it's important that people actually physically come in. Is it important for City Hall too?
Well, absolutely. Interactions with citizens is important, but for some people that's their only mechanism for making payments. And COVID-19 has caused us all to do some rethinking on how we do what we do. But one of the things that I'm very proud of is across the city staff, leadership have pivoted to support staff, but to support area citizens to provide the services that are needed. And I have to put a plug in. I have an excellent team in customer service, and they have worked very hard throughout the entire time that we have been in shutdown mode. We have not been in shutdown mode. We continue to provide services by phone, by email, and continue to support citizens through mail as well.
Do you think then, given the success of that, it really didn't limit what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, one thing we did discover is that for the convenience of some citizens who don't have technology, who don't have the ability to email, we've had to continue to provide the services by tweaking the process a little bit and doing things by appointment. So for licensing, for example, lottery licensing, for business licensing, residential rental housing licensing, and commissioning of that document, those are all done by appointment, and they'll continue to be done by appointment. It makes it effective for the citizen as well as for staff.
North Bay residents were given the chance a few months ago to defer residential or some business taxes during the pandemic, according to the deputy mayor. The number of taxpayers who took up that offer was relatively small.
I think that I got an update was June 30th, and that was when the tax bills were due. So as of that date, 1,500 people, or 1,500, I say people, but it could be residents, it could be businesses, were behind on their tax payments. Now you have to think about that in perspective, that we have over 20,000 tax accounts, and so that's a combination of residential, commercial, businesses. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. The one good thing is that we did see a number of people coming off of pre-authorized payments at the beginning of COVID, and I think it was because the fear and what it was going to look like, but we're actually seeing the trend of people are coming back on, so it's actually a good thing. So I think people are starting to come back to, we're going to come back to maybe a little bit of normalcy, and the fear is settling. But so right now it's not a red flag for the city when you look at 1,500 accounts over 20,000. It's concerning that we want them to pay, but are they all COVID related? Is it just because they were a couple of days late? We don't check it on a daily basis, but as of June 30th, it was fairly low. We're trying to do the best we can, really, and to work with people, and we do have that the deferral payments, and you're trying to make it so that it's not overwhelming either. But that's where we want people to call. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling anything about tax payments, water payments, give our staff a call, because we'll talk to you about payment arrangements. We'll talk to you about the no interest and no penalties right now, right? So, but we want to get you back on track. But again, don't wait till it's too late. Start talking to our staff now.
Meanwhile, on another front, some towns and city councils have resumed in-person meetings. What about North Bay?
Nothing at this point. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. We've been getting ready for reopening City Hall in stages. We're not rushing to be the first out of the gates, because we want to make sure that everybody's safe, whether it's the public or our staff or council. But right now, it's still status quo for doing meetings online. We still have to take a look at the social distancing, because our chambers are fairly small when you have 11 people. So I don't even know how you would do that in council chambers. So it's still questions that we need to answer, but it's not we're never going to come back. But at this point, it's not right now.
And if you deferred taxes earlier in the year, the taxes you didn't pay will be blended into the monthly tax bill you're paying for the rest of 2020 calendar year. The downtown improvement area will not be shutting down Main Street or part of it, at least this summer. A survey was sent out to some 200 eligible voters. Just 1/4 responded, but of those who did respond, most did not want to create a pedestrian mall in the downtown core. As for just doing it on the weekends, it was about a 50-50 split. So all of that means it's status quo for now.
A lot of other communities are not doing it. That's my reaction to it. A lot of communities actually talked about doing it. Some of the bigger cities have tried it in small areas, you know, because they have a traffic issue. We don't have a traffic issue in the downtown. And when we got curbside delivery and service back, and the Ford government allowed us to have that back, it made a really big difference to the businesses down here. And for me, and for everyone else, we really count on that service to our customers. And if you close the street, we have to accommodate for that somehow. A lot of businesses down here deal with the elderly or the handicapped, and they had an issue with closing the streets as well for reasons, that obvious reasons, because people couldn't get to them really quickly. The police department, the fire department, the ambulance services, whenever we have an event downtown and we close the blocks, that is always a big concern to us for emergency services to get to, you know, where they need to get to. So that was a concern. Some of our customers didn't like the idea, some of them did. Some of the businesses liked the idea, some of them didn't. So we decided that for now, we're not doing it.
Meanwhile, Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Peter Chirico disappointed by the results of the poll. He had different hopes for 2020.
I wasn't privy to the survey results on that, but I think there's a lost opportunity there myself, even just for the community's sake. I think there's a lost opportunity, and why not try something different, see how it works, and then reevaluate it and see what it goes from there. But certainly the board of the DIA made that decision, and we'll stand by that decision. We'll continue to encourage that for 2021 that maybe to look at that, because there was an awful lot of business owners that said that they wanted to support that type of initiative.
Break time is here on Cogeco News. When we come back, it's a Clark Heipel show. We'll have the Pet of the Week, and Captain Charity, Clark Heipel, is at it again. We'll explain after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our Clark Heipel continues to take off undeserved vacation. He wrote that. His next day off, and thanks for telling me, is this coming Tuesday, as he will take part in a fundraising golf tournament for the North Bay District Humane Society. Good stuff. This tourney to take place at Calendar's Osprey Links.
The 11th annual Monaghan and Furry Friends Gramble, happens July 21st, so that's next Tuesday. We kick off at 8 o'clock. So it's one of our biggest fundraisers that we do every year. This year's obviously a bit different with everything that's going on, but we're still forging ahead and trying to make as much money as possible to help feed and shelter our animals here and keep them healthy and safe and give them everything they need.
Now, Jeff Rogerson down at Osprey is an expert with the restrictions to golf. So is he kind of handling all the procedure to make sure everything's up to snuff in terms of safety?
Yeah, so Jeff's been a great help to us. He's provided lots of guidance and support. So just changing things up a little bit. Normally we would have a shotgun start where everyone would show up at the same time. This year instead we're doing with scheduled tee times, which is a staggered start, which just allows everyone to arrive safely, check in, get on the course, and get their round underway.
Now, I am taking part in it this year. I booked the day off work. Greg's going to have to fend for himself on Tuesday. And I'm usually 30 above par, but if a miracle happens and I shoot 30 under par, what will I win?
You'll win the pride of knowing that you shot less than 30 under par, which is probably better than I will do.
And how's the support been this year from everyone, knowing that people might be a little tentative to get out in the public right now?
It's actually been pretty good. So the last couple of years we've had around 120 golfers. This year we're currently at 112. We originally capped it at 80, not knowing where we were going to be and not knowing what restrictions would be in place. But as things have been opened and the province has gone into stage 3, we've been able to take a few extra golfers. So getting up to 112 has really been good for us. One of the big changes is we're going to have a very limited silent auction, just because it's one of the things that you can't really interact with. So that's going to be a bit of a hit for us, but it's still going to be a fun day for everyone involved.
And just due to life circumstances, likely a couple golfers will drop out. So should they contact the Humane Society, be putting on a waiting list to make a team of 4th if one person drops out?
Yeah, if they want to do that, they can do that. We've also had lots of people who still, even though they don't feel necessarily comfortable getting out on the green, they've just made a donation. So we've had some people who've been very generous, and in lieu of actually playing, they're just making a monetary donation, which is always appreciated.
How do they do that? A website, phone call?
Either or, so they can visit us or call us in advance and just make an arrangement to do it here, or they can visit our website, which is northbayhumanesociety.ca.
Winkworth and Heifel in the same story. Oh boy. Well, we stay located, same spot, 2060 Main Street West for the Pet of the Week. This Thursday we feature a cute kitty named Clover.
Tell us about this cute cat that belongs on a toilet paper roll package.
We've got a little ball of fluff this week. Her name is Clover. She's around 8 weeks old and desperately looking for her forever home and a place to play and shed.
Now, a common question that I hear from people with shelters is, oh, how did a cute animal like this end up at the shelter? But that's kind of a stigma that you want to break through. All animals here are cute and deserving of loving homes.
The reason why we're in this is to find them forever homes, make sure they get the love, the care, the attention that they need. So no matter the age, the description, whether they're cute or kind of not cute, we definitely want to see them in forever homes and spoiled rotten. So Clover has the benefit of being just a teeny tiny young kitten, cute, and that's probably her biggest selling point right now. So she's got a lot of trouble that she's going to grow into and hopefully out of, but she's very well behaved right now. As you can see, she's eager to socialize with people and be a friend in the family. So if somebody's looking for a little kitten to play around with their young children, their other animals, she would be best suited in any home right now.
How does she do with other cats, dogs, ferrets, and maybe fish?
So we haven't had her around very many animals, so she just came into us this week, so she's still just getting used to everything here, and we're getting to know her as well. So it's definitely something that, because she's a kitten, we're confident that she's going to get suited into any home with the appropriate transition time. So if you've got a busy, active home, you might want to have a place where she can settle, stay quiet, rest, relax. Otherwise, just really encouraging her to be safe and happy around anything.
Typically, what age are cats put through the spay-neuter process?
So right now our veterinarian is able to do pediatric spay and neuter. So we do our surgeries based on weight, not so much age. So usually a minimum of 8 to 10 weeks and then their development. So as long as they're healthy and of good body condition, then we would put them through the spay neuter surgery as soon as possible. Alternately, we can wait up to 6 to 7 months.
And if that process is longer than not, recent owners that have adopted can bring the pet back and have that procedure done.
Absolutely. So our spay neuter clinic, we're running a little bit behind with the COVID shutdowns and working part-time, but definitely really encouraging people that don't worry about spay and neuter. We'll make sure it's taken care of.
Keeping the COVID pandemic in mind and the precautions, what should people do if they want to kind of explore the process of adoption at this time?
So right now everything starts virtually, so go onto the website, look hopefully for Clover's picture soon, fill out the application, and then we would book an appointment for a meet and greet. So we're keeping everything very limited at a social distancing site here at the Humane Society. We just want to make sure that you get to know the animal a little bit before you take them home, but also making sure that everybody's safe at the same time.
Break time has arrived yet again on Cogeco News. When we come back, Clark on the streets and weather right after this.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
It is time for number 17. Welcome back to Cogeco News. I'm Clark Heipel here at the intersection of Mantha and... I'll explain that in just a second. I am here for your 5-day weather forecast brought to you by Canadore College. Also here for episode 17 of Streets You Did Not Know Existed. Now, number 17, that is a common number on this day. First being the final Apollo mission was number 17, and I have moon missions on my mind because this morning at 9:32 Eastern Time, 51 years ago, Apollo 11 launched from Cape Canaveral as Michael Collins, Neil Armstrong, and Buzz Aldrin flew to the moon. Now, Neil Armstrong passed away in 2012. Michael Collins is surviving. He's 89, and Buzz Aldrin is 90 years old and posted this to Facebook on this historic anniversary. Quote, "Today represents a truly important day in the history of humankind. We lifted off from Earth on Apollo 11 to a place of magnificent desolation, the moon. It was a journey of a lifetime and a mission of eternal consequence for science, exploration, and human achievement," unquote. And with the Artemis program gaining steam, looking to bring humans back to the moon by 2024, Buzz Aldrin and company paved the way for this to be possible. And who knows, NASA is working with Canada, and perhaps the first Canadian could land on the moon during the Artemis program. Now, getting back to streets you did not know existed, I'm at the intersection of Mantha and La Rock. Earlier in the day, I teased on the Facebook Live. I wanted people to guess where I was when I mentioned I am on Mantha Road. It's at the end of La Rock, and the mosquitoes are thick and heavy. I'm getting bit as we speak, so let's get to that 5-day forecast. Venturing overnight on this Thursday night, once again, there is a risk of a thunderstorm, low 17 mild degrees. On Friday, the 17th, lots of 17s on this day, the 17th of July. Mix of sun and cloud, high 28, the humidex making it feel warmer, 32, and the UV index high at 8. I recommend SPF 8,000 if it's available for purchase. On the 17th of Friday, the evening of, clear skies, low 18. And transitioning into Saturday, the 18th of July, sunny skies, high at 30, and a low of 20. Chance of showers into Sunday on the 19th of July, high 28, low 19 with clouds. And Monday, looking at the new work week, high 26, low 17, mix of sun and cloud. Turning the page back to the almanac, we can tell you that Wednesday had a very normal day in terms of the temperature, spot on virtually. We had the normal high of 25 for the daytime high on Wednesday, and we had the low of 15, which is just 1 degree above the normal for this time of July. Well, there you have it. There is your 5-day weather picture. That does it for Streets You Did Not Know Existed, episode 17, and a little bit of moon mission talk. Our Greg Estabrooks is over the moon. He can't wait to deliver your sportscast right after this.
Welcome back, everybody. Not a lot to talk about, of course, in the world of sports, except one local note. Adrian Catahan, the tennis wait for it ace, is playing in an actual tournament this summer. Believe it or not, he's down in Southern Ontario this weekend playing a clay court event where the rally should be long. Indeed, when clay, of course, slows down the tennis ball. So we'll hope to have some scores and results for you come Monday in an interview with Adrian Catahan after his first big tournament of 2020, although it is a restricted tournament because of COVID-19. That is it for news, weather, and sports for this Thursday. Thanks so much for joining us. More Cogeco News live at 5 on Friday.